What is up, YouTube? It's your boy Alex here from Team Generations, back again with another deck profile. Today we're going to be looking at a list for Nightmare Doll Chelsea, so this is going to be looking at some of the Client Selection Volume 2 support we received for Pale Moon. Very, very competitive deck. I really think this is like a tier 1 deck that you can get for very cheap, and if you are willing to kind of learn how to play it, like you can definitely have great results with it. This is actually one of the decks listed too in my most competitive like budget deck or most like best value for V Premium. Go check that out in the description below if you haven't already. So yeah, I think this is going to be a little bit different. I am just going to kind of lay out this deck and show you some interactions between the cards. Just really pressed for time as of late. Very busy with work. It hasn't been the same as the past couple months, so I apologize for the little bit of lack of content the past week or so. So yeah, let's get right into it. Alright, and before we begin, I just wanted to quickly mention that we do have actually a TCG player affiliate link now. If you guys are interested in purchasing any of these cards from the profile, I ask that maybe you do go through that link to help support the channel, absolutely no cost to you. Also, we do have a lot of D-Series content coming up, so if you guys are interested in that, maybe hit that subscribe button, possibly leave a like on the video to help stay up to date with that. So yeah, thank you so much, and let's get into the profile. Let's go starting off with our main boss unit herself. This is going to be Nightmare Doll Chelsea, so she really does a lot for us. A really great card, helps us kind of propel this deck into like tier 1. Like I think this is a super competitive deck like I mentioned, but her skills essentially the second one. When we are playing her, we want to first put her on rearguard circle. Ideally we're going to swing with her and then she's going to go into soul. When she goes into soul, we can get rid of one of our opponent's units with a little bit of spot removal by putting one of them into the soul. So if you're playing Protect 2, it's actually a really nice card. Helps you get rid of those pesky cards on Protect 2 in general. On top of that, when you're riding Carol, which we'll get into in a second, you can re-ride her and it'll generate another 2 multi-attacks. And if your opponent is on grade 3, they went first or whatever, you can get an additional 10k out of the 2 multi-attacks that you pop out from Soul on that. And those 2 cards can enable kind of like additional attacks as well, kind of just be extenders even further. So really nice card. Helps us deal with like the power issue that we were having previously and just continuously giving us more multi-attack, which is this deck is really all about. If it doesn't give power and if it doesn't multi-attack, it's really not in this deck, and that's really the theme that we're running with here. So very good card. I'm glad that they gave this to us in V Premium. Next off, no surprises here, we are running 4 of Nightmare Doll Carol. Carol's still an oldie but goldie, really nice. This is going to be your Vanguard target ride like every single turn. You want to first put her down so that you can enable another multi-attack and another re-ride a little bit later. But when placed, we get to essentially look at the top 5 cards from our deck and then put one into soul. If it's a Workoroid grade 3, we can put that onto our rearguard circle. So again, just a little bit more free attacks. We want to be running a lot of grade 3s in this deck to make most use out of that skill. On top of that, her second skill is like the real banger here. So this is going to be essentially when your grade 3 Workoroid rearguard is put into your soul, you can cost counterblast 1, discard 2 cards from your hand, and ride that card as stand onto your Vanguard circle. You generate another Excel marker off this, so the discard 2 doesn't hurt as bad. Plus you are drive checking, so it's kind of like a wash. You're not really going neg there. On top of that, I feel like Vanguard attacks, like any multi-attacking Vanguard, is just super value. You're putting that like pressure on your opponent. Hey, you know, I might hit a trigger here, you have to guard out a little more excessively than if I'm just swinging at you with a rear guard attack. So really nice. I think this is still definitely a necessary 4 of, and then we are still running 4 of this oldie but goldie as well. This is Nightmare Doll Alice. So previously these 2 interacted really well, but their big hang up, like I mentioned previously, is that they didn't really give enough power. If your opponent hit defensive triggers, like if they hit 2, it was kind of game over, like, ah, damn, I can't do anything more with my turn. But now that we have Chelsea, definitely helps. Her first skill isn't as useful as it used to be, but when placed, we can, on Vanguard Circle, we can call a Workoroid from our soul to rearguard circle. That guy gets an additional 5k. This second skill is like the big one though. If you have the resources for it, at the end of battle that it attacked, we get to counterblast 1, soul blast 1, put this unit into our soul, and then call a non-grade 3 unit from our rearguard, from our soul to our rearguard circle. So if you need to, these 2 can interact, but essentially you want to be re-riding onto her every single turn. But she enables another multi-attack, which is still really useful. And I think with her first skill, we definitely want to be searching out a grade 3 Workoroid, and if we can find her, put her on rearguard circle, all the better. That's why I'm running it kind of at that 3 of. I know that's like a big point of contention. A lot of people don't want to be running Alice at as much of that anymore, but I still think it's a really good card, definitely necessary, so I'm running it at that 3 of. Moving into the grade 2s now, we have like a really nice grade 2 that they gave us. This is going to be Nightmare Doll Marissa. So her skill, essentially when placed from hand, we get to put a card from our hand into our soul, look at 7 cards from the top of our deck, and then reveal up to 2 non-grade 2 Workoroid normal units from among them and put them into our hand. So insane searching right here, like two 2 cards. We're fixing our soul and we're getting 2 grade 2 Workroids into our hand. Like that's why we run like a ton of grade 3s in this deck. I know a lot of people, like I said, cut this, but I think off of her skill and her skill, like, we just want to be searching and finding her. So just any grade 3 really in general. So she really helps facilitate that, and putting the card into our soul can help us fix a little bit later. You know, we can reride something a grade 3 from our soul, put it onto the Carol. So overall, definitely necessary 4 of. Moving on then to our next grade 2. Again, this is another extender. This is going to be Jumping Jill. So this is another oldie but goldie, but I still think it definitely deserves a spot in the deck. And we don't have all the promos that Japan has, so I think that this is still going to stay in the North American or just, you know, English TCG kind of deck. It's skill auto on rearguard circle when placed from hand. We get to put another rearguard into our soul and then call a non-grade 2 card from our soul to rearguard circle in our back row. So this kind of just helps supply itself with power, or whatever you call out with power. Like I think I mentioned before, if your opponent hits that defensive trigger, you have to make sure you get over that. And if she's not one of the cards you call out with Carol, giving that extra bump, sometimes even still, you need that additional back row rear guard circle to put her over the edge. So I think this is a good card. This helps you extend from like potentially like a 2 attack to like a 3 attack, because you can call something else from soul, which calls something else. So there's a lot of different interactions here, which I will kind of point out as we go along. So speaking of interactions, we're going to be running 2 of Amaranth Beast Tamer. This is another extender. I'm not going to go too deep into it just because it interacts with another card really well. That's the only reason we really run it in the deck. But it's skill Van or rearguard circle. When it attacks a Vanguard, we get to put another rearguard into our soul, and this unit gets an additional 3k until the end of that battle. So helps hit that excel number if you really need to. On top of that, it interacts with the grade 1 that we have very well. So I'll just continue on and mention that when it comes to it. Going right along then, we're going to be going into our grade 1s here. So just 10 grade 2s. We are going to be looking at Nightmare Doll Abigail. So her skill, auto on Vanguard Circle when placed, Soul Charge 1. Her secondary skill is auto on Rearguard Circle. At the end of our turn, we get to retire this unit and return a grade 3 Workroid from our soul to our hand. And if our Vanguard is a grade 3 Workroid, we get to counter charge 1. So very big for 2 reasons. First off, you can basically set up your reride for next turn by putting the Carol back into your hand. On top of that, I think that's a big issue with Nightmare Dolls previously, is that you kind of ran out of juice. Like, it was just so resource intensive overall that if you didn't have Counterblast, you kind of fell flat. You know, everything was just kind of dead in the water. So she really helps with those 2 issues. The first skill is okay, like, you know, it's not your ideal grade 1 ride target, but I feel like there aren't too many great ones in this deck in general, so just a soul charge is good. There's nothing really to say more about that. But moving on, we are still running 3 of this card. So this is not a Workroid, actually. It's our first non-Workroid aside from Amaranth Beast Tamer, I think. But she works really well with that, and also with Jumping Jill. So when placed from Rearguard into Soul, we get to Soul Blast 1. Purple Trapezes, basically when she's put on Rearguard into Soul, pop her back out and call another card from our Soul to Rearguard Circle. So this kind of just enables another multi-attack, works really well with this one. You can apply a little bit of early game pressure as well with the 2-card combo here. So I think that it is just a good card, really helps you, and towards the later game, like, you'll have a bunch of Excel circles with this reride consistently. You know, hopefully you have the right reride every single turn, generating 2 Excel markers. So just filling those up in the front row can be really useful. Alright, and moving right along, so these guys are more like a power-up kind of play. If you are looking for Workroids to pop out, I think these are good options, but we're going to start off with Nightmare Doll Edith. Her skill, auto on Rearguard Circle. When placed, this unit gets an additional 2k until the end of turn for each other Workroid on Van or Rearguard Circle. Just heads up, this is when placed, not just, you know, whenever she attacks, you know, however many Workroids you have, this is when placed, so just be wary of that. I feel like we need kind of cards that power themselves up, because if you're not calling it off the Carol, even if you are, you know, giving that additional 6k potentially can be really nice for hitting a magic number. Also, we are running this guy at 2 of. This is Nightmare Doll Beverly. When another Workroid, auto on Rearguard Circle, when another Workroid is placed on the same column as this unit, that unit gets an additional 5k until the end of turn. So just helping again make those nice magic numbers. Like, I think overall that we have to help just anything that pops out become a little bit more powerful. Sometimes that 10k just doesn't cut it. So if you have this guy in the back row, you know, you're waiting for that multi-attack, you can boost it with 5k and boost it for 7 as well. Like, you're just making those nice numbers. And an additional 10k that Carol made, it just makes it a little bit more difficult for your opponent overall. And again, we don't have all the promos that Japan has, so I think this is definitely a solid option overall. Moving on to our trigger lineup, I tried a lot of different things with this. I really was kind of on the fence for a while. I was going all crit, all front. I think I kind of arrived at this. I'm running 4 draw sentinels, 4 fronts, for crits and for heals. I'm going rainbow in this deck. I really think that you kind of benefit off of absolutely everything. If you have like a really powerful unit, you just want to kind of make your opponent guard that out first, or whatever the case is, put a little extra pressure with that crit. That's a great option to go with. The front too, like sometimes, you know, on your second grade 3 Vanguard swing, if you hit a front, you have like a full field you just made. Like that's really, really useful. Like everybody's going to be a little bit more powerful, and sometimes that really is the difference between you kind of falling flat and just overpowering your opponent. So thank you guys so much for watching so far. We're going to go into a test hand. I am going to make time to do that. Just show you kind of how the deck works overall. I'm really excited to bring this to you guys. So yeah, let's hop into that. Alright, let's shuffle up here and get started. We're just going to pretend that we go first to make things easy, as we do in all of our test hand videos. So overall, like I said, I think this is a super competitive deck. Like if you are a decent pilot with this, like you can have great results. Like there's no reason you can't beat any other deck. Obviously Vanguard is kind of like a luck-based TCG in a way, but I feel like piloted right, like you definitely have a great shot against absolutely anybody, and I'm really, really enjoying this deck. I think that, you know, this isn't like a super brain dead kind of V premium deck, as a lot of people have said the format's kind of gone to, but yeah, overall I think that's really, really nice. So let's see, what do we get in our test hand? We get 2 triggers. I'm going to put these back, but we do get a 1, 2, 3. This actually is, wow, I can't actually get much better. I think this is like the ideal 3 that we need in our hand. So let's see. Let's draw 2 more, see if we can add. All right, cool. So we got that at least. Yeah, nice. I think that we got like a really good hand, so let's get going here. All right. Let us stand and draw for a turn, because we still do that in V Premium. I'm going to then just ride into the grade 1. Don't really have too many other choices. You're going to draw off of the ride, Soul Charge 1 for her Vanguard skill. We're going to pass it over to our opponent and pretend that we take a damage for their turn. Oh no, we damaged a Chelsea, but that's okay. We're going to now be our turn, stand and draw. Another trigger, our specialty drawing triggers. Well, let's see, we're going to ride her, and then her skill, 1 place, we put a card from our hand into our soul. So I'm going to put the Carol into soul just because I have 2 of them, I believe. Yeah, let's do that. The Carol into our soul. Look at the top 7 cards from our deck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Perfect. Let's add 2 non-grade 2 workroids. So she is a workroid, right? Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, and let's get the Chelsea. Yeah, perfect. So we do have Chelsea. Got another grade 1 workroid, so that was nice. That was definitely, we kind of went even there. We rode her from hand, we put a card into soul, but we did get 2 cards back into our hand, which is really nice. I don't think we're going to do too much else here. Like, do I want to... You know what? I'm actually going to place her, because then I can get an extra 5k onto my grade 3 rear guard, grade 3 Vanguard. Yeah, let's do that. So, do I want to do that or there? Yeah, let's do it here. Let's just swing. Alright, here we go. Drive check. Boom. Chelsea. Alright. Or Alice, I'm sorry. Over to our opponent. Let's take 2. 1, 2. Alright, front. Shut every other attack off. Let's stand and draw. Drawing triggers, I'm telling you, that's our specialty here. Alright, let's ride onto the Nightmare Doll Carol real quick. Let's get a protect, an Excel 2. Draw off the Excel 2, drawing triggers again, like I said, time after time, that's our specialty. Let's go with the Chelsea here. Also, she gets the 5k from her. Let's go with one of these over here. Do I want to do anything else? This is Counterblast, Counterblast, Counterblast. Nah, I'm going to hold on to her for next turn, I think. We have a really nice hand to defend and just kind of grind out for next turn. Let's see what we have in our soul, too. Don't really have too many... no, we do have the Jumping Jill, so... yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. Alright, cool. Let's proceed onwards. Let's go... Let's swing here. It's going to be 17. Oh, I'm sorry, actually. Let's do her... Totally forgot to do her skill. I knew there was something. I was like, why don't I have more workroids? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One place we get to look and put a grade 3 workroid into our soul. There we go. We're going to put that into there. And if it's grade 3, we pop it out. So now let's shuffle up over here. Cool. Now let's proceed. I was like, why does my field full? Alright, swing here. This is going to be 17. 1 and 2. Alright, let's put the crit. Let's put it on here, I guess. Let's say they didn't hit a trigger, whatever the case may be. We're going to swing here at the end of battle. We're going to put this guy into our soul, retire one of our opponents' rear guards as well. We're going to activate our Nightmare Doll Carol here. We're going to actually get rid of... yeah, let's get rid of her. And maybe the Jumping Jill? Yeah, I want to hold the triggers in my hand. Get rid of these two. We're going to re-ride onto the Chelsea now. We're going to get another Excel 2 marker. We're going to draw off of that, which is nice. And then we are going to swing with her, and she gets the additional 5k because when she's placed, another Workroid, the 5k there, which is really nice. So we're going to swing. This is 17 plus 7 right there. This is 24. Even if they did hit a trigger, it hits that nice number. We're going to swing once. All right, boom. And then, I'm sorry, was that at the end of the battle it attacked? Yeah. We're going to counterblast 1. Oh, I forgot to counterblast for the other guy too. The Carol, sorry. We're going to call 2 cards. So let's see. Let's go 1. And let's go 2 here, just because we're going to use her skill to get the other grade 1 out over here. So we're going to, one place from soul, put another rear guard into our soul, call a non-grade 2 card from our soul to an open rear guard circle. Let's go with her, actually, yeah, because I want to fix my ride chain for next turn. I don't have the Carol in my hand, so we're going to call her down. All right, nice. And now, again, we have all these other additional attacks, and we can still kind of get an additional attack off of one of these two. So let's do that. Let's swing here. We're going to counterblast 1, soul blast 1 now. Let's soul blast. I guess the soul blast is starter. No point to keep that. We're going to put this into soul, and we're going to get another non-grade 3 Workroid from our soul to a rear guard circle. So let's go with her there. All right. We are then... Is that everything? Yeah. We are then going to... Let's see. Just swing. We can't really use any of her skills. Swing, swing again. Here, and then at the end of turn, we are going to cost retire this unit. We are then going to return a grade 3 Workroid from our soul to our hand, and then counter charge 1. Boom. All right, very good. So that's kind of how the deck is played out. Like, we're going to be able to consistently kind of go into this combo every turn, maybe rewrite her next turn instead if we don't find another Chelsea, but that's the general gist of it. Just a lot of attacks. The Chelsea pops out additional power on those additional units as well. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments below. If you guys disagree with anything in the deck list too, totally let me know. Always open to some criticism, always trying to make the best deck possible. So thank you guys again so much. This is Alex from Team Generations signing out.